everybody, and welcome back to Blue Jays Today. Coming to you from the Sports Interaction Studio, where we always got something to say about the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm your host, Adam Peddle.
And I'm your host, Nicholas Playlog. And this morning, we are going to be dissecting what transpired last night. Toronto, they were up 6-1. Things were looking great. We probably got a bit ahead of ourselves, as did they, thinking that things were going to be smooth sailing. They were not. Aaron Judge, New York Yankees, tip of the cap to them. They battled through the adversity, and they did end up winning that ball game 9-6, forcing a game four, which we will be live for tonight, everybody. We're going to break down kind of roughly what we think about what's going to happen in that game. We're going to be live for it. But first, let's start with what happened yesterday, because it truly felt like we got up big. And you could kind of get the sense, and we were feeling it as well, and people on social media were feeling it, but I feel like internally, some of those lads were thinking to themselves, all right, we did it. We're good. We're going to advance. And the brains shut off for just a little bit. And that was just enough. That was just what the New York Yankees need to be able to find an opening, claw their way back into it, and through a comedy of errors for the Toronto Blue Jays, they were capable of doing so.
Yeah, there's a few things you can really point at for the Blue Jays. I'll start with a minor thing, and then we'll get to the major thing that I think we all know how they blew the game, which was the comedy of errors. The minor thing right here is once the Yankees started to come back into the game, the Blue Jays started to expand the strike zone and get away from their plan of attack. We all know the Blue Jays this entire series have had an incredible low strikeout rate. What you saw in this game was a Blue Jay team that struck out 11 times. Now, to any other ball team, that might just be another day in the ballpark for you. But for the Blue Jays, that's a lot. You had 2 strikeouts from pinch hitter Addison Barger, 1 from Santander, 3 from George Springer. He's been kind of ghost mode this series. Gotta have Unk come back. 1 from Scheider, 1 from Lucas, and 3 from Dalton Varsho in the middle of that lineup. And that happened all around the time when the Yankees came back, tied the game. Jazz Chisholm took it back in this with a home run to make it 7-2 or 7-6, excuse me. And that's when it kind of felt like, okay, we already gave up because the Yankees were coming back. We had no momentum, and we were expanding, trying to get hits.
I think it was an element of shell shock. I genuinely think that a lot of those boys, even though they didn't come out and outwardly start saying it, were thinking like we might be able to ease our way into the ALCS. And then the second that the adversity came in the New York Yankees, and Aaron Judge hit what was just a wild pitch for a home run. We got it right here, folks. This is crazy. First off, the hardest hit ball, or the fastest pitch that he's ever hit for a home run in his career. That's a crazy stat. I would have thought that he would have had something over 100, but 99.7, fastest pitch ever he hit for a home run.
Yeah.
But can you just play that and then pause it right where the pitch is? Look at where this ball is. That is quite literally like in his batter box, and that man who is like 6'6", 6'7", is capable of turning on that thing and literally just keeping it fair enough to hit off the foul pole. And I think that was the moment where all the Jays hitters were like, oh my God, we are in a state of shock right now.
Again, you got to give them their flowers. I mean, Varland wasn't even pitching to Aaron Judge based on where that pitch was. Someone in our DMs was like, why would they do that? Why would they ever pitch to Aaron Judge there? He wasn't. That was like 4 to 5 inches inside, and Aaron Judge just said, fuck it. And look, in the post-game interview, Stanton was saying that, hey, I told Aaron Judge, I faced Varland back in the Rogers Center. Remember when he struck out on 101 down the middle of the second in Varland's career? Well, he told Aaron, dude, he's going to try to blow a fastball by you. That's his out pitch. And he's, to his credit, he was sitting all over it clearly and hit it over the wall. So obviously, part of it is not just the Blue Jays making errors and effing up. It is part of it, you got to say, those Yankee hitters. But let's talk about those errors right now, because the Blue Jays for this entire season, and even, Keegan Masson tweeted about it yesterday, no one's talking about how good this Blue Jays defense has been. There's been a lot of errors on the scorecard and then miscues in the field from last night's game that led to these big innings, like Aaron Judge hitting a 3-run blast.
Yeah, 100%, man. It started with the IKF error. I believe that was in the second 2nd inning, I believe it was.
Yeah, when they got 1 run back.
Yeah, then you had the what was honestly just a horrendous showing from Addison Barr. He had a bad day. He had a really bad day because he struck out multiple times, and then on top of that, he had this error right here, which then inevitably kind of snowballed and led to that Aaron Judge home run. We can't play the video for you guys, but there was a ball hit kind of between him and David Schneider was in there, and Barzer's ranging back, trying to find that thing. He calls off David Schneider, who would have had priority in that situation, but he calls him off. And then all of a sudden, he starts scrambling like he can't find it anymore, running in one direction. He is not incapable of catching the baseball. So that was rough. Apparently, the wind was swirling and it pushed the ball in one direction. Whatever the case, not a good look. Then you had Vladimir Guerrero Jr. kind of letting what I think most of this season he would have been able to scoop and pick up for an easy out. He lets the ball get by him.
It's like right under the glove.
Right under the glove.
Pure miss.
Like he's there.
Just miss.
It's just like we're not, you know what I mean? Like we're not here right now. And then you have Anthony Santander in the outfield taking the weirdest route to a baseball.
Route.
Like it looked like a man that really hasn't played baseball in a couple months. And that's what he is, right? So across the board, you just saw this snowball effect happen for these Blue Jays hitters. And I will take some credit for it. Maybe there was a little bit of a jinx effect in there. But in some of the earlier innings, I was saying one of the things that we got over New York is that we'll make the plays that they're incapable of making. Because at that point in the ball game, you have Cody Bellinger doing a couple miscues out there or not making a play that you might see Dalton Varsho make. And then honestly, the second that I said that, so Nago, my bad, guys.
Oh yeah, all your fault.
But the second I said that, we just forgot how to play defense.
Yeah, honestly, this is the kind of game that it has happened before for the Blue Jays, and if it would have happened in June or during the 162, you'd be like, trash can game, let's move on. But it's obviously amplified right here by the fact that we're in game 3 of the ALDS. So the boys, they got to clean it up for tomorrow, throw it in the trash can, and they got to play better. Because honestly, earn runs at one point when it was 8-6. Or it was 9-6 when it was the final score. They only had 7 earned runs in the game. So technically, they would have still won. But there's a lot of those miscues that aren't being counted as errors, like the Santander diving catch, well, not catch, drop ball, and that Vladdy under the glove play. So all these could have been cleaned up, and the Blue Jays could have had a better chance to win this game if they didn't have that. Got to figure it out for today. Now, moving on. The bullpen. Now, they also struggled mightily in this game as well, and we pitched quite a lot of them, the Toronto Blue Jays did. Fluharty came out 2/3, gave up an earned run. Varland came out, gave up 2 earned runs to Aaron Judge on that homer. Fisher gave up an earned run. Brandon Little gave up an earned run. There's a lot of boys that have pitched today in this one, and they're going to be worked for what is a bullpen day for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah, and again, it's not all their fault because there were outs that weren't outs that should have been outs, and, obviously they weren't. So, who knows what would have happened if we would have made all those plays.
It's a team effort It's a
team effort. There's a lot of guys on the field, so it's not all their fault, but obviously it wasn't instilling me with a whole lot of confidence when every single inning New York was getting 1 here, getting 2 there, getting another 1 there, getting 2 on this one, right? There was a
4 in a row
right there where we had 4 innings and they just kept scoring, and it felt like we just, it was impossible for Toronto to get any momentum because every time, we were on defense, they just kept piling it on. And I mean, that's really tough to win a ball game with. Before we move on and talk about the following game, I do just want to say how unlikely it was that we ended up blowing that game. Opta Stats posted out here. That's actually the first time that's ever happened, guys.
In postseason history.
In postseason history, okay, the Yankees are the first team in MLB postseason history to be down by 5+ runs and in danger of being swept and come back to win the game. Teams have been 0-38 all time. So it just goes to show that, yes, a lot of that win is on them and for being able to battle through that adversity, and Aaron Judge and Jazz and their pitching staff, but a lot of that is on us because 100% of the time prior to last night, we should go on to win that game. And we didn't. Yeah,
we blew, I guess you could say, a golden opportunity right there. We were all thinking ALCS. You could have got the extra rest, but now you're going to have to pitch and double down on that.
Correct. Now, tonight, it is going to be Mr. Louis Varland, who was the individual who gave up the home run to Aaron Judge. So you could argue it's going to be a little scary in that first inning because he's going to have to go, through Grisham, then Judge, assuming they don't change the lineup, and then probably Cody Bellinger right there.
I wonder if you just put him on. I really do. If you're just, your job is to get through that top part, I wonder if you just put him on. Seriously.
Here's the thing. I mean, I feel like we go through this every time, right? You pitch to him, you get him out, you feel confident like you can do it again. And then, you throw to him and you throw this pitch that's not even like you're throwing to him.
That's what I'm saying.
And he still hits. Exactly,
that's
right? So when he can do that, I think that just goes to show, you kind of just need to put the guy on and cut your losses right there because he can hit any ball that you want to throw to him. But it's going to be Varland, most likely, with the hope of getting through that top of the lineup for the first inning one time. He's going to be up against Schlittler, and then likely the Toronto Blue Jays are going to be transitioning to Eric Lauer to go through some of those middle innings. If he can make it, honestly, if he can go 3 innings for us, you have Eric Lauer go 1, then not Eric Lauer, Louis Varland go 1, then Eric Lauer go 3. That to me would be like a relatively good start to the ball game, considering how short the leashes have been on a lot of these pitchers.
Yeah, like ideally, because you look at right here the amount of pitches that we've thrown here with a lot of guys yesterday. This is all their pitch numbers right here. Ideally, you could hope that Eric Lauer can get you twice through that top of the lineup, and then you transition to, whoever else, right? And then all the guys who threw yesterday probably going to get the bottom half in the very lefty lineup, heavy lineup that Aaron Boone rolls out there. So you're going to see Flu Hardy back out there. You're going to see Brandon Little back out there. And then after Eric Lauer goes through that top of the lineup, now it's 3 times through the order. You're going to see Sir Anthony, and you're going to see Jeff Hoffman no matter what.
Regardless
no matter
of the situation. He's just got to throw some pitches at this point, and we got an off day tomorrow should we need to play on Friday. So Hoffman and Sir Anthony, you might even, if we're down, they're still going to come in just because they got to pitch, and we need to win this game ultimately. Like we're going to be trying to win this game and not play in Toronto because the big fear is that, if you lose this one, now you go back to Toronto, and even though, we have the advantage in Toronto and maybe we're cheating at the hotel and whatever.
And you got Kevin Gausman.
We're going to have all of our
stacked with Mr. Yusavage.
Mr. Yusavage. It's an ideal situation. It's ideal situation, but momentum is kind of a real thing. And should the Yankees win tonight as well, that's 2 back-to-back wins. That's a lot of momentum heading into Toronto. We don't want to be there.
No, we don't.
Now, on the bump for them is Cam Schlittler. He's only had 2 career starts against the Toronto Blue Jays. In that time, we have gotten the better to him. Obviously, this is a very small sample size, so that one bad outing that he had to us, where he had a 21.6 ERA in that game, that is inflating things a lot. The game previous to that, he went 5 innings and had 2 earned runs. If he did that, that feels like enough in this series because the runs are coming pretty consistently.
Yeah, Blue Jays got the same plan. You got to forget about the second half offensively last night, and you got to get back to the approach of working him and getting base hits and not striking out. He struck out 12 his last time out against the Boston Red Sox, effectively a week ago now. You got to be able to limit the strikeouts and put the ball in play. And even though the Yankees bullpen was good yesterday, I still want to get to that Yankees bullpen because they are worked. Like they do have 21 innings for Bednar, 21 pitches for Bednar, 26 for Devin Williams, 16 for Tim Hill. Like they threw out all their good guys. They did not touch Weaver. They did not touch Blackburn. They did not touch Warren. So if you can get to any of those guys, you've got an opportunity to pounce on them.
See, I would love to say that we're going to get to Weaver, but they'd have to be in major desperation mode to even throw him out there. And the only way that we're going to get them into major desperation mode is by working those counts a lot better than how we did in the second half of the ball game. 11 strikeouts, that's just not the Toronto Blue Jays DNA this season. That's not what we do, right? They are the team that's supposed to strike out, and I believe they only struck out 6 times yesterday, right?
They took a page out of our book.
100%.
They played better baseball.
They played a way better baseball game.
The same argument that we've made about why we're beating them in Toronto, it flipped the script.
100%.
They played way better baseball than we did yesterday, but it's a new game. I still believe believe that this team right now is a better baseball team overall, and any given day can play better than the New York Yankees.
Yes. Now, I hope that the Toronto Blue Jays walk into this game throwing yesterday in the trash can and realizing that the work is not done. So even if we do get up big, there's no celebration this time. We're keeping our foot on the gas pedal. We're going to be live later this evening, folks. Quick, we're going to do another pregame like prior to the live stream tonight. But
6:30.
before we sign off, we winning tonight, we losing tonight.
Well, I've stuck by my guns and my decisions. I always thought we'd lose this game because of the bullpen day. And look at what happened yesterday. You had Bieber go only into the third, halfway through, and then he got pulled. I think we're still going to lose this game. You know, I'm sticking by my predictions. Cam Schlittler, even though we have gotten the better of him, he's coming off an 8-inning, 12 strikeout performance at the Bronx, which he's pitching at again tonight. He's going to feel confident. I'm going to say we lose and we go back Game 5 Toronto.
That's understandable. I'm going to stick by my guns as well. On the Blue Jays Today show, I say that we lose yesterday and that we win today and that the offense comes to life today and just does everything and then some. We still have not seen George Springer wake up yet.
No, we need George Springer.
I think tonight's going to be the night.
That's a key.
He's got to wake up and hopefully if we can just avoid some of those miscues in the defense, I think we should be fine. Folks, please hit that like button, smash that subscribe button. If you have the option to do so, the hype button will be there as well. Please hit that. Helps a lot of small creators grow. $4 a month can be YouTube membership. And thank you to all of our current YouTube members. You guys are amazing.
Guys, thank you so much for watching.
And as always,
go Jays, go!